Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to install a catch can on a 2014 Charger with a 5.7 Hemi V8. This is what comes with the catch can. It's everything in the box. You get the catch can itself. You get some braided hoses if you want to pay extra, which I did. You get these female to male adapters. You get the nut to lock it down, and you get these fancy hose ends here. Now the first thing you want to do so you can access your PVC, take that off, is you want to get this cover off. I already pre-loosened it, but it just kind of unhooks from those little four things there and goes on those four studs there. You just pull it straight up and it comes right off. Okay, the next thing you want to do, you take your 17 millimeter nut that they give you, and you find this little stud that's on the front of the engine, and you want to just get that on there, put it in. Doesn't matter how far, you just kind of want it out of your way for the next step. Okay, the next thing you want to do is take your catch can, unscrew the bottom of it, because you're going to put this part on next. Now you're going to come back over to your engine with the top of your catch can. You're going to go back where you installed that nut on that stud, and you're going to get that started right on there. Again, a little tricky to do one-handed while holding the camera, but I'll get it. Once you get that on there, 1, 2, 3. They tell you to do 4 turns. And then you're just gonna secure this nut. You can do it by hand for right now. Just not so it's real tight, just get it up there, because now you're gonna put your bottom back on there. Now what you're gonna do, just turn that a little to the side. Oh, I tightened that a little too much. Make sure that's loose enough so that you can actually turn this thing. So you can put your bottom on. Just get it secure. You don't have to get it real super tight. And then you get that back straight. Make sure it's not interfering with anything. And then you're going to tighten this down a little better with a 17 millimeter wrench. You can take that and get just snug. It doesn't have to be super tight. Just make sure it's not going anywhere. And then when you want to empty that, you can either, try to finesse it out of there like this, or you can just loosen that nut every time, give it a small turn so you can get at it and unscrew it. Carefully take it out so you don't spill the oil. Also today, since we're in here, we're going to change out the air filter. The one that's in there is probably the original from when I bought the car. I also just wanted to show you this. Since I was changing my air filter, this was all in the bottom of my intake. And this is what happens with a 5.7 Hemi, or most performance engines, when you don't have a catch can. You can see this whole part of the, I don't know if it translates real good to the camera, but that is soaked with oil. And that's what happens when you don't have a catch can. So the catch can will prevent this crap from going back into your engine to be combusted. So now you can see I got my pretty K&N high flow air filter in there, and I've gotten all the oil that was in the bottom of that box there for the air filter, and hopefully our catch can will prevent that from ever being an issue again. Alright, your next step here is to take off your PVC hose that came on the car, and this can be, I had to work this free with a screwdriver here at first because the car has got 20,000 miles on it. If you're doing this sooner, it's probably not as stuck. But I took that off, and again, you can see oily. So hopefully, again, the catch can will prevent that. And you just pull this other one off, and you're ready to put your hoses in. Okay, I did forget to mention one thing. This part right here, you need these little rubber hoses. You need these off of here. So you got to stick that back on there. And you got this turned one, this elbow, if you will. It was facing this way, but your catch can's over here, so you're going to want to face it this way. Just stick that back on there. Then you get these little goodies that they gave you, these little adapters, and you stick one in there. Make sure that's in there real good. Stick one in here. It's not the tightest fit. I think the pressure from that other hose will take care of that and hold it in. So then you're ready to put your hoses on. Okay, I pre-cut the hoses. I used a pair of these big ass snips to cut these nice braided hoses that they gave me. And I probably could have done a little better job on this one. It's kind of sloppy. That's better. A little nicer. So all you do is take these. These seem to me just to be pretty much for show. You stick that on there. Stick one on each end. And install your hoses. Just put them on the adapter. Make sure they're on there nice. It's on there pretty good. Let's see. Oops, that one started to come out. Okay. Just stick this one on. And that one is still a little loose, but I'm hoping the pressure, I think that will hold that in there nicely. And there you go. It's all installed. So this is what your finished product looks like. With that hose coming out of there, going into there, comes out the other side, goes back into the intake. And you should have nice clean air through your Billet Technology catch can instead of oil going back into your intake. Alright, I just wanted to add this on the end of the video. If you wanted to put the cover back on, you might have a little trouble with the left-hand hose, since that's not coming out of there if you don't have a catch can. The other one you can work under there. It's not an issue. But this one gets in the way of the cover, because as you can see over here on this side, there's a big plastic piece that kind of comes down for no particular reason. And you can just take a Dremel tool and cut that right along the edge there and sand it down, make sure it's nice and smooth, so in case there's any vibration. It actually still touches the hose a little bit, but it doesn't really interfere with getting the cover back on. There was a lot of pressure on it before. I could have forced it in there. I could have really shoved the hose to the side and made it fit, but it just took me a little extra time. Take the Dremel and a little bit of sandpaper at the end and get that nice and smooth and make the room that it needed. And it gives it a lot cleaner look. And then you can have your cover back on your engine.